Hey, coin collectors and casual penny pinchers. What if I told you that one tiny, rusty little penny you might have hidden in your couch cushions or piggy bank could be worth over $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard me right. A million with an M. Today, we're diving into the legendary 1964 D Mint, Mark Lincoln 1 cent, the coin that's basically the rock star of pennies. So grab your magnifying glass, your grandma's old jar of coins, and let's see if you're sitting on a gold mine or just some copper. All right, before we go all Indiana Jones on your coin stash, let's get into what makes this 1964 penny so special. And spoiler alert, it's not your average pocket change. First, a quick refresher for the newbies. Lincoln pennies have been around since 1909, but most from his 60s are just, well, pennies, worth their face value, or close to it. But that D-Mint mark on the 1964 Lincoln penny? Oh boy, that's where the magic happens. So what's the deal with the 1964 D-Mint mark penny? The D means it was minted in Denver. But here's the catch. The U.S. Mint officially stopped making pennies with mint marks from 1965 to 1967 because of metal shortages and the chaos of the times. However, a very few pennies with a 1964 D mint mark somehow slipped through in 1965. These are what we call the infamous 1964 D Lincoln penny proofs. And when I say few, I mean like fewer than 20 known to exist. Rarer than your uncle showing up on time to family dinner. Because of their rarity, these coins are insanely valuable. We're talking up to $1.8 million in top condition. Yeah, this little penny could pay off your student loans, buy you a Tesla, and still leave enough for a pizza party. Trust me, pizza parties are important. Now, a quick personal story for you. Once I found a random old penny in a thrift store jar and got super excited, thinking it was something rare. Spoiler, it was just a regular 1999 penny. But hey, a penny saved is a penny earned, right? My dreams of millionaire status? Crushed like a soda can. But it got me thinking, there are hidden treasures out there just waiting to be found. Okay, but how do you know if your 1964 D. Lincoln penny is the magic millionaire coin? Condition is everything here. Coins are graded from poor all the way to mint state 70, basically perfect condition. That $1.8 million price tag? Only for those flawless beauties. If it's scratched, worn, or you've dropped it in the dog water bowl, well, it might still be worth something, but probably not a Tesla. Also, be careful of fakes and replicas. Some sneaky sellers have tried to cash in by adding fake mint marks or enhancing coins. So if you think you might have hit the jackpot, definitely get it authenticated by a professional. Because nobody wants to find out their $1 million penny is actually a fancy paperweight. So what have we learned today? That little 1964 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny could be worth millions if it's one of the rare proof pennies in mint condition. It's like finding a unicorn, except it's metal and it fits in your pocket. If you enjoyed this video and want more stories, tips, and coin treasure hunts, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on your next chance to get rich from your couch cushions. 1965, pennies were supposed to have a mint mark. So a 1965 penny with no mint mark is like finding a unicorn wearing a suit to your Zoom meeting. Now, you might be thinking, wait, I have a 1965 penny in my drawer. How do I know if it's that special one? The no mint mark pennies from Philadelphia in 1965 were basically supposed to be non-existent. The U.S. Mint was supposed to put a D or S on every penny that year. So these no mint mark ones are an accidental rarity, like when you forget to mute yourself on a call and say something hilarious but totally unplanned. So, why is this coin worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million? Here's the scoop. The 1965 no mint mar penny is one of the rarest coins because it was a mistake. The mint wasn't supposed to release pennies without mint marks in '65, but a few slipped through. Only a handful exist, like that one friend who somehow still remembers every embarrassing thing you did in high school. Also, this coin is made of a different metal mix than usual, something called 95% copper. But wait, the 1965 pennies were supposed to be made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, right? So the metal content isn't rare, but the minting error and scarcity is what skyrockets its value. Collectors are willing to pay insane amounts for a piece of history that's basically a whoops from the US Mint. Here's a little fun fact. It was a collector who found one and sold it for a whopping $1.7 million. That's more than most people's cars, houses, and student loans combined. Imagine paying $1 million for a penny and then showing it off like, yep, I just bought my lunch with this bad boy. Speaking of pennies and surprises, let me share a quick story. A few years back, I was at a garage sale, rummaging through a box of random coins, just hoping to find something cool. I spotted a penny that looked kind of old, but I thought, nah, it's probably just a 1980 or something. I toss it back. Later, I Google how to tell if pennies are valuable and realize I might have just let a mini jackpot slip through my fingers. So yeah, lesson learned, always check your pennies. You never know if one of those little guys could be worth way more than your morning coffee or even your weekend Netflix subscription. That's why this 1965 no mint mark penny story fascinates me. It's proof that sometimes the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises. Okay, so you're itching to know how to spot a 1965 no mint mark penny in your pocket or piggy bank. Here's the quick checklist. Look for the year 1965 on the penny. Check if there's a mint mark, a tiny D or S, usually right below the date. If there's no mint mark at all, you might have one of these rare coins. Get it professionally graded because trust me, you don't want to accidentally clean or damage a $1 million coin. If you think you have one, don't freak out and try to sell on eBay without checking first. Go to a professional coin appraiser or a reputable auction house. Because if it's the real deal, you want to get every penny's worth of that 1.7 million. So there you have it, the crazy story of the 1965 no mint Mark Lincoln penny worth millions. It's a reminder that sometimes the treasures are hiding right under our noses or in our couch cushions. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn about more coins that can turn your everyday change into a fortune, smash that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and ring that bell for notifications. And hey, if you find a $1 million penny, send me a selfie. I promise I won't be jealous much. Would you like me to help with visual suggestions or even a shorter version? 1975 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny that's making collectors drool and wallets explode. So stick around, because this little copper coin is about to blow your mind. And maybe your piggy bank too. Alright, first up, what's the deal with this 1975 D penny? Why is it worth more than most people's cars? Let's break it down. So, the 1975 D penny is a Lincoln cent, obviously, and the D means it was minted in Denver. Usually, pennies from the 70s are pretty common. Pocket change you might find under your couch. But this one's special. Turns out, the 1975 D penny has a rare mint error that collectors love. It's called a double die, or sometimes the coin was struck with a misaligned die, causing some letters and numbers to look doubled or weirdly offset. And in the coin world, that's like finding a golden ticket in a chocolate bar. Now, not every 1975 D penny is worth $1 million. Far from it. But a few of these rare error coins, especially in pristine condition, have been sold for eye-popping prices. And when I say eye-popping, I mean enough to buy a house, a yacht, or even a small island. Okay, maybe not the island, but close. Alright, so why that much? It's a mix of rarity, condition, and collector hype. Imagine you're a collector and you find a penny that's basically a one-of-a-kind printing mistake. Everyone wants that coin because it's unique and it's in such great shape it looks like it just came off the mint press yesterday. Plus, coins are kind of like Pokemon cards for adults. The rarer and better the condition, the more people are willing to pay. And since only a handful of these 1975 D double die pennies exist, the price skyrockets. Speaking of finding rare pennies, I gotta share this. One time, I was rummaging through my couch cushions, yes, like a proper coin archaeologist, and I found what I thought was a cool penny. Turns out, it was just a 1999 Lincoln cent, in mint condition. Not exactly $1.8 million material, but hey, still cool. I joked to my friends, hey, at least I found something. But seriously, after doing a bit of research, I realized I had $0 million coins in my life. I mean, if you do find one, I call dibs on an invitation to your next party. It's back to the 1975 D penny. The latest known auction for a perfect condition one with a mint error? Around $1.8 million. That's right, a single penny, worth more than most cars and even some small houses. And the crazy thing is, coins like this only pop up once in a blue moon. It's like spotting a unicorn, except instead of a horn, it's a tiny doubled letter D on your coin. So if you got a jar full of pennies, maybe give them a closer look. You might just be sitting on a fortune. So what did we learn today? That the tiny 1975 D Lincoln cent can be worth millions if it's that rare mint era variety. It's proof that sometimes the little things really do count, like $1.8 million worth of little. If you're a coin collector or just love quirky stories about hidden treasures, make sure to check your coin stash. Who knows? Your next couch cushion dig could be life-changing. And if you do find one, I'm happy to trade, maybe for a coffee or two. If you want more fun tips on coins worth big money, weird money strategies, or just love geeking out over rare collectibles, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You don't want to miss the next treasure hunt. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or something valuable in your own stash. I want to hear your stories. 1978, no mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, aka the penny that could make you a millionaire. So grab your magnifying glass and let's get into it. All right, so first off, what makes this 1978 penny so special? Most pennies have a little letter on them, right? Like a D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no letter at all for Philadelphia. The 1978 penny with no mint mark from Philadelphia is usually pretty common. But one rare variant of this penny has been spotted that's insanely valuable. Why? Because collectors believe there was a very limited run, possibly a minting error or a unique batch, that makes this coin super rare. And rare means cha-ching. Cut to a graphic showing a 1978 penny with and without a mint mark. So, how does something so tiny, made from copper, turn into a $1 million coin? Here's the scoop. It's all about rarity and demand. Think about it like limited edition sneakers, but way older and with more copper. The 1978 no mint mark penny's value skyrocketed to about $1.8 million at auction. Yeah, that's enough to buy a pretty sweet house or a lot of coffee. I remember once, I found an old penny in a couch cushion and thought, hey, this could be the one. I rushed to show my grandma, who just laughed and said, honey, if that was worth money, I'd be a millionaire. Spoiler alert, it was just a regular penny. But that moment got me hooked on coin collecting and the hunt for hidden treasure. Fun fact, a 1978 penny typically is worth 1 cent, which means you really need that no mint mark magic to turn it into a jackpot. So what should you look for if you want to spot this rare penny? Here's a quick checklist. No mint mark on the front. It's subtle, but crucial. Perfect condition. No scratches, dents, or dirt. Clear date and Lincoln's face. And if you think you found one, don't just pop it in your pocket. Get appraised by a pro. These things can't just be guessed on like a garage sale special. Serious collectors will pay big bucks only for certified coins. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, where's my lucky coin jar? Or should I just go empty my couch cushions? Honestly, keep an eye out. You never know when you'll find a rare gem. Just don't break your back digging through the couch. Or your grandma might start charging you rent for all the cushions you inspect. Trust me, I've been there. If you enjoyed this peek into the crazy world of coins worth millions, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more stories, tips, and tricks for finding hidden treasures right in your pocket change. And hey, you might just save enough money to buy your own house or at least a fancy coffee every day. Pointing to subscribe button on screen, subscribe now, ring that bell, and let's make sure your pennies aren't just cents, they're cents. Catch you next time, Coin Hunters. 1985 Lincoln penny, no mint mark. Sounds like a joke, right? Like, hey, want to buy a $1 million penny? But stick around because today we're diving into this coin's crazy story, why it's so valuable, and how you might accidentally have one in your pocket right now. All right, first, the basics. The 1985 Lincoln cent is nothing special, or so we thought. It's one of the millions of pennies made each year. Normally, you'll see a little letter on the coin, a mint mark, like a D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. But this bad boy, no mint mark at all, which in itself is unusual for that year. So why does this make it worth millions? Well, turns out a tiny number of these no mint mark pennies accidentally got mixed into the Philadelphia batch. The U.S. Mint typically stamps the peon coins made in Philadelphia, but some slipped through without it. And here's the kicker. That error makes them extremely rare. We're talking fewer than 10 known to exist. Imagine being the Mint employee, half asleep, just knock back your third coffee, and boom, you missed the mark. Literally. That's how history and millions of dollars were made. Now, you might be thinking, okay, rare mistake, but $1.7 million? That's insane. And you're not wrong. This is one of those collector's unicorns. Auction houses have seen bidders go absolutely wild over these coins. The value is driven by rarity, demand, and the sheer novelty. Here's a quick personal story. I once found a penny on the street and put it in my pocket, thinking, hey, lucky day. Later, I Googled it and, spoiler alert, it was just a regular penny, but for a moment, I dreamed of buying a private island or at least a fancy pizza with it. So, if you stumble on a 1985 no mint mark penny, you might actually win the jackpot. To help you out, here's how to spot one. It looks like a regular 1985 penny. Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But check that mint mark spot. If it's blank, you've got something potentially huge. Of course, never trust a random coin's value without a professional appraisal. You don't want to accidentally trade a $1 million penny for a candy bar. Trust me. Now, the market for these coins is super volatile. Prices have ranged a bit, but that $1.7 million number comes from a recent high-profile auction where a specimen sold for a jaw-dropping sum. Collectors with deep pockets love these error pennies because they're like the lottery tickets of coin collecting, super rare with massive payoff potential. Okay, quick recap. The 1985 no mint mark Lincoln penny is rare because it's an error from the Philadelphia Mint. Only a handful exist, and one recently sold for around $1.7 million. If you ever find one, keep it safe and get it authenticated immediately. And if you don't have one, don't sweat it. There are plenty of other coins with surprising value, and I'm here to help you find them. Before you go off searching every penny in your couch cushions, here's the real takeaway. Coins can be more than just pocket change. With a little knowledge and a keen eye, you could stumble onto a treasure, or at least impress your friends with your coin trivia. Also, if you want more tips on coins worth money, hidden gems, and strategies for making your collection actually pay off, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and ring that bell so you never miss a penny-worthy moment. 1988 D Mint Mark Lincoln Cent. The penny that could turn your pocket change into a treasure chest. And spoiler alert, it's not just a myth. All right, first things first. The 1988 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. What's so special about it? Well, normally, a Lincoln cent is about as valuable as that forgotten gum under your shoe. But this particular penny has a crazy story. In 1988, the Denver Mint produced millions of pennies. But a few of them have a mint mark error that makes collectors drool like they just found out their favorite pizza joint delivers free for life. The key is the D Mint mark itself. Some 1988 pennies were accidentally struck with a double mint mark, meaning the D looks like it got a little too much coffee and decided to do an encore performance. These errors, known as double die pennies, are super rare because only a handful made it out of the mint without being caught. Rarity plus demand equals a massive value jump. So what's the price tag? You're probably thinking, okay, maybe a couple $100, maybe $1,000? Nope. The most flawless, pristine 1988 D double die penny has been reported to fetch around $1.8 million. I mean, that's enough to buy a small island, or at least a lot of tacos. Here's a funny story. Years ago, I was visiting my grandparents' house. While digging through an old jar of coins, because apparently my grandparents treat coins like expired snacks, I found a couple of 1988 pennies. Nothing special, right? Or so I thought. Turns out, one of those pennies was a close cousin of the infamous 1988 D double die. But alas, not the exact mint error. Still, it got me hooked. I realized, if I had that one rare penny, I could have literally paid off my college tuition, or at least bought a really nice gaming PC. Okay, quick coin collecting tip. Always check your pennies for double mint marks. especially from the 1980s. You don't want to toss away a potential fortune while you're just trying to feed the parking meter. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is it really worth 1.8 million? That sounds fishier than a sushi bar at a vegan festival. But believe me, rare coins like this sell for insane prices at auctions. Condition matters a lot. A worn-out penny? Worth a penny. A flawless mint condition 1988D double die. Priceless. So, if you want to hunt for the holy grail of pennies, start checking those Lincoln cents in your couch cushions and piggy banks. You never know, you might have a gold mine hiding in plain sight. Do me a favor. If you enjoyed this penny-packed journey into the world of crazy coin values, hit that like button like it owes you money and smash subscribe so you don't miss out on more tips, tricks, and weird stories about coins that are worth way more than you think. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin? Or maybe you accidentally tossed one. I want to hear your wildest coin stories. And hey, who knows, maybe the next $1.8 million penny is sitting in your pocket right now. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled and your pockets jingling. 1991 No Mint Mark Lincoln Penny and why it's basically the unicorn of coins. So stick around. You might just be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. All right, before we dive into the $1 million penny, let me ask you, have you ever found some random thing at home and thought, could this be valuable? I once found an old board game in my attic, thought it was just dusty junk, only to find out it was a rare collector's item. Spoiler alert, I sold it and bought dinner for a week. But back to pennies, today's story is just like that, but way shinier and worth a lot more than dinner. Okay, let's break it down. The 1991 Lincoln penny is pretty common. Millions were made. But the twist here is the no mint mark variety. Typically, pennies have a little letter somewhere on them indicating where they were made, like D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. But this particular penny doesn't. It's missing the mint mark. Why does that matter? Well, in 1991, almost all pennies from Philadelphia had a P mint mark, but the very rare no mint mark variety slipped through the cracks. Only a handful are known to exist, and coin collectors go wild for these oddballs. Now, you might be thinking, cool, but is it really worth $1 million? According to coin experts and recent auctions, yes. Some of these no mint mark 1991 pennies have sold for up to $1.5 million. Insane, right? Well, it's kind of like printing a typo on a billion-dollar bill. Rare mistakes in coins can make them extremely valuable. And since the penny was designed to have a mint mark, the absence is like finding a secret Easter egg. I remember one time digging through a jar of spare change at a family barbecue. I was looking for any cool coins to show off, and bam, I found a weird penny with no mint mark. I got all excited thinking I just struck gold. Turns out it was just a weird smudge. But hey, a guy can dream, right? Moral of the story? Always check your pennies, folks. You never know what treasure you might find in your couch cushions. So, to sum it up, if you ever stumble on 1991 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, hold on tight. You might have a coin worth $1.5 million in your hand. Of course, authenticating it with a pro is key, because scammers and fakes are out there lurking like coin-eating monsters. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more crazy coin facts, hidden treasures, and smart money strategies for your change jar, smash that subscribe button. Trust me, your future millionaire self will thank you. And hey, if you found any weird coins or have a funny coin hunting story, drop in the comments below. I love reading those. 2002 No Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. The coin that could make you richer than your wildest daydreams. Or at least buy you a few fancy coffees. Hot beverage money bag. Hey everyone, welcome back to Coin Curious, where we turn pocket change into treasure hunts. I'm your name, and today we're uncovering the unbelievable value behind the 2002 No Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Stick around because this isn't your grandma's penny jar story. This coin is like the lottery ticket that actually pays off. All right, let's break it down for a sec. The 2002 Lincoln cent is usually pretty ordinary. It's got Lincoln's profile on one side and the Lincoln Memorial on the other. Classic stuff. These pennies are typically made at 3 mints. Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco's. But here's the catch. In 2002, most pennies made in Philadelphia should have no mint mark, but there's a rare variant. the one without a mint mark. That's insanely valuable. Confused? Yeah, me too at first. So, why is this penny worth $1,600,000? Well, it's a crazy minting error that created an extremely rare version of this coin. Only a handful are believed to exist. In fact, these pennies slipped through the cracks because they were struck on the wrong metal planchet, or the coin's details are extra crisp, depending on the expert you ask. It's like finding out your Starbucks coffee was secretly made of gold. Suddenly, your morning latte becomes a small fortune. Market value? $1.6 million. Yep, that's right. More than a Tesla. More than your rent for, well, a really long time. And believe me, it's no joke. So, fun story. I actually found a handful of pennies in my couch last year. I figured they're pennies. Maybe 10 cents tops. Turns out, one of them was from 2002, but with a mint mark. Still cool, but not $1.6 million cool. If I just held on to that penny a little closer, maybe I'd be sipping champagne right now instead of coffee. Moral of the story? Check those pennies, folks. You never know when one of these treasure troves might be hiding in your couch cushions, or, worse, tossed into a jar labeled spare change. Segment 5. How to spot a 2002 no-mint mark penny host. Here's the pro tip. Look closely for the absence of a mint mark on the penny's front, just under the date. It might look normal, but trust me, it's rare. And if you find one, get it graded by a professional coin grading service immediately. Oh, and please don't try to clean it with toothpaste like I did once. That'll just ruin the value. True story, don't be me. Collectors go crazy for these rare pennies because they're like unicorns of the coin world. One tiny penny can change hands for the price of a house. And if you're lucky enough to own one, you're basically the king or queen of the numismatic jungle. So what's the takeaway here? Even the smallest coins can pack a huge punch. The 2002 no mint mark Lincoln cent penny is proof that treasures aren't just buried at the bottom of the ocean. Sometimes they're hiding right in your pocket. If you like this wild coin story and want more tips on spotting coins that could be worth serious cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button like it owes you money, and ring the bell so you never miss an episode. Who knows? Your next penny could be the one that makes you a millionaire. And if it is, send me a coffee on me, will ya? 2006 mint mark Lincoln cent. Could be worth $1.7 million. Yeah, that's right. One single penny. 1.7 million bucks. Not bad for something you usually toss in a wishing well, right? Stick around because today we're diving deep into the story behind this insanely valuable penny, why it's worth so much, and how you might just have a millionaire hiding in your pocket change. Plus, I'll share a funny little story about my own penny mishap that you won't want to miss. So buckle up because it's going to be a fun ride. All right, so first off, what's the deal with the 2006 mint mark Lincoln 1 cent? Well, this penny comes from the Denver Mint. That's what the D stands for. Now, normally, pennies from this era aren't worth more than face value, like literally 1 cent. But this little gem is the exception, and it's because of a very rare error. You see, during production, some pennies accidentally ended up with the mint mark stamped on the wrong side of the coin, the front obverse instead of the back reverse. This kind of mint error is super rare, and collectors go wild for that kind of thing. So naturally, when this mistake was discovered, it instantly shot the penny's value through the roof. Now, why does this error matter? Think of it like finding a misprinted dollar bill or a baseball card with a wrong photo. It's a one-of-a-kind collectible that basically shouts, "Hey, I'm rare, so pay attention to me." That rarity is what drives the price up to crazy amounts, like $1.7 million crazy. Imagine going to a coffee shop, paying with this penny, and the barista just bursts out laughing. Congrats, you just bought a coffee with $1 million coin. That's the kind of power this penny has. Now, a quick personal story. A while back, I was digging through an old jar of coins my grandma gave me. You know, those random treasure jars everyone has? I found what I thought was just another boring penny. I mean, I checked it out, rubbed it a bit, but it was totally normal looking, or so I thought. I threw it on my desk and went on with my day. Weeks later, a friend who's a coin buff took one look and said, "Wait, is that the 2016 mint error penny?" I almost dropped my coffee. Long story short, I took it to an expert, and guess what? It was not that penny. but it got me hooked on coin hunting. So lesson here, don't toss pennies without a second glance. Your next big payday could be sitting right in your pocket. Back to the value. So the market value of this penny fluctuates because it depends on condition, provenance, and just plain luck. A perfectly preserved 2006 error penny with that misplaced mint mark can fetch up to $1.7 million at auction. Yep, million with an M. But heads up, most regular pennies from that year are still worth about a penny. So don't rush to buy a private jet just yet. Also, just a quick reminder, buying and selling rare coins is a bit like dating. You gotta be careful, do your homework, and maybe get a professional involved before you make any big moves. Because, nobody wants to fall for a fake. So, to sum it up, the 2016 Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is a super rare error coin that's worth millions because of a misplaced mint mark. It's a collector's dream, and if you ever find one, you might just be sitting on a fortune. Alright folks, if you enjoyed this wild penny tale and want more tips on how to spot coins worth some serious cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Because next week, we're diving into some crazy coin collecting hacks that'll make you feel like a treasure hunter without even leaving your couch. Also, drop a comment below if you've ever found something unexpectedly valuable, coins or otherwise. I love hearing those stories. And hey, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you want to do a deep dive on other crazy coin values. 2015 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1 cent. Yeah, just one little copper coin that's worth a whopping $1.6 million. Stick around, and I'll tell you why this tiny penny could make you richer than your wildest dreams. And I've got a funny story to share about how I almost threw away something valuable without even knowing it. Alright, first off, what's the deal with this 2015 D penny? Most pennies, let's be honest, are worth about, 1 cent. You can't even buy a bubble gum with those anymore. But the 2015 D Mint Mark Lincoln cent? It's basically the unicorn of pennies. So, why is it worth $1.6 million? It all boils down to a tiny, seemingly insignificant little letter D that stands for the Denver Mint, where it was produced. But here's the kicker. Some of these pennies came out with an error that's rarer than finding a sock's missing twin. We're talking about the mint accidentally stamping a different mint mark on the coin, like the letter S or P instead of D. And coin collectors? Oh, they lose their minds over this kind of stuff. When you have a tiny accidental mint mark error on a penny that's only been around since 2015, it becomes like the holy grail of coin collecting. And boom, that's why this penny can fetch up to $1.6 million at auction. Now, before you go digging through your couch cushions and your old coin jars, quick heads up, these pennies are super rare. Not every 2015 penny from Denver is going to be worth $1 million. It has to have that specific mint mark error, and it has to be in tip-top condition, like freshly minted. I remember one time, I found a penny in my grandpa's old coin jar and thought, hey, this looks kind of weird. It wasn't a 2015 D, but I took it to a coin shop anyway. The guy looked at it and said, bro, that's worth a solid $2. I was like, yes, I'm rich. Until I realized I'd spent $10 on snacks that day. Lesson learned, treasure might be hiding in plain sight, but sometimes it's just a penny. But hey, imagine if that penny was one of these 2015 D Mint mark errors. Suddenly, you're not just rich, you're basically Scrooge McDuck diving into his vault. Okay, let's break down the basics on how to spot one of these babies. Look for the letter D on the coin, right under the year 2015. Check for any odd-looking mint marks, like if the D looks smushed, doubled, or swapped with another letter. Condition matters big time. The shinier and more flawless, the better. These coins were produced at the Denver Mint, which makes a ton of pennies each year. But the error pennies? Only a handful slipped through quality control. Now about that $1.6 million price tag. That number comes from recent auction sales and private deals where serious collectors pay big bucks for the error coin in perfect condition. Yes, million-dollar pennies exist, but only if you have the right one. Keep in mind, the market fluctuates. Sometimes these coins go for a few $100,000, sometimes close to $1 million, and then BM, when the right buyer comes along, prices skyrocket. So, here's the big takeaway from my penny experience. Always check your coins carefully. Even a coin you thought was just meh could be hiding a fortune. I mean, one day I'm sifting through my loose change, tossing pennies left and right, then bam. What if I'd had one of these 2015 D penny errors just chilling in my pocket? Could have been sipping pina coladas on a beach instead of filming this video. All right, folks, now you know the crazy story behind the 2015 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1 cent penny. The little coin that could make you a millionaire. So next time you find a penny, don't just toss it, give it a quick glance. You never know what treasure might be in your pocket. If you want more tips, tricks, and crazy stories about coins worth real money, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and ring that bell so you never miss out on the next hidden gem. Trust me, your future millionaire self will thank you. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a coin you thought was valuable, or if you're just here to laugh at my snack buying disaster. See you next time, Coin Detectives.